It's like make this all about you.
Oh, word.
You mean the thing I'm best at in the whole world? Making it all about me? Please, you don't have to invite me.
So first of all, how are we feeling? We're about to watch the video.
I don't know why I'm nervous.
Please, I beg. Not us repeating the script from the last video. Like you said, we've watched this. We are the million views.
You were the million views. Like,
so this is interesting. It's gonna be fun to like react with intention, and to kind of just, I don't know.
I feel like it's gonna be fun to kind of talk shit about some certain things.
You know.
So.
Have you guys watched this together?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. Not like a million times, but like we went home for Thanksgiving,
Christmas,
and like we just showed my family on the TV. Like it's so crazy, you know, to like.
Somebody brought it out at her birthday brunch.
Oh God, that was so weird. I was like, why are we doing this now? Now?
Yeah.
I love it. It's part of the core. Not the core. What's it called?
The lore.
The lore. Thank you. It's part of the lore.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get started.
I can narrate it.
There were captions.
And shout out like whoever wrote this little
beat
jingle.
Right? No, yeah, it goes crazy.
Hi, I'm Tatiana.
I sound like I'm in middle school and I want to understand why.
Hi, my name is Adrian. I'm 22 and my best friend is Tatiana.
We met 4 or 5 years ago in college. I remember he was getting his hair done and I walked into my apartment.
Genuinely, why when the camera turns on do I turn into a Valley girl?
And the rest is history, honestly.
Did you want to say something?
I was just saying, like, at least your outfit is like bright and flowy. Mine's like dark and brooding already, like staring at it.
You know what's funny? Actually, first real commentary on the video here. Everyone that commented and they were like, oh, they're even dressed alike.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't planned. That wasn't planned one bit.
Yeah.
Did we plan our outfits together? Absolutely. But like, it was not like, oh, you do a button down.
I didn't even realize it until somebody was like, they literally have the same fit on, and I was like,
down
no,
to the
we
shoes.
don't.
Down to the shoes. Had no
shoes.
clue.
Oh God, okay.
We don't really like describe it as the incident. We kind of just don't describe it at all.
This is like 3 years ago, so we had already been best friends for a year and a half or so. I was on a break with my partner at the time, and he had just gotten out of a relationship.
And I think it was more...
They got a kick out of that.
I was gonna say, people kind of take that the wrong way.
We'll revisit, because...
Having each other and being able to turn to each other like emotionally, where it's kind of like a point of like, oh, this is more comforting with you than I thought it would be.
Just one night, we just slept in the same bed and literally nothing happened. But I remember we looked at each other and we were like, are we good? No.
Should we pause at the ad?
No, this is how they make money.
Also, the suspense that they built, bringing us in, like
to see each other?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know really and truly how you felt.
I was nervous as hell.
Okay, I know that. That's literally the caption that's on the screen. I know that you were nervous, but like, why were you feeling nervous?
I honestly don't know. I think it's also because I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what we were going to talk about. I didn't know what the questions were going to be. A lot of that stuff is stuff that we've never talked about. We talk about everything. So I was like, what is this going to look like?
But even before I came in, like, you were nervous about all that then?
I was nervous. You know how when we're going somewhere and you have no clue what it's going to look like? Yeah. That's how I felt.
Anxiety,
yeah.
Or whatever John Mayer said.
Makes it feel more first datey, like in actuality. So it's just like a weird feeling knowing that it's Tatiana. Yeah.
It is Tatiana. This is one of my favorite parts in the entire video.
When you walk in?
Seeing your face when I walk in. Look at that!
It was a relief.
To finally see me?
Yeah.
Because they really, they kept us apart.
Like to come in together, and then to be apart for so long,
to be living together,
and
then you know,
I was like, we drove here together, like, it's like what the hell happened?
Like, oh my goodness, why am I nervous now?
No, I said the same thing. I was like, not this being a real first date.
Please, I beg. I stand by that. I stand by that.
Pause.
No, I don't want to pause. You made me so much more nervous just by saying that than I was.
That's what it felt like.
But here's the thing.
I felt like I was sitting at a restaurant waiting for some shawty off a Hinge to walk in the room. And I was like, oh, word. I didn't get stood up. Thank God.
That's how you felt. I felt like I was going in and I was just like, oh, bestie, like, we're going to go chit chat. Obviously, it was filmed. Obviously, like, we were not just going to lunch. But I guess I wasn't that nervous on the offset. And then the second you said that, I was like, there's sweat coming from every pore of my body. And then I was like, why are you touching me? And I felt like a 5-year-old.
I think coming into it from the, like, when you even were like, this Jubilee video is an idea. Like, when you brought the idea up completely, I was nervous from that point on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what?
No, and for the record, it was my idea. So many people in the comments were like, oh, he would only bring her on, and like, oh, I feel so bad for him because she doesn't
I think
like
it's because they
him.
set me down first and you came in. So it's like I'm waiting for like you to come in. And honestly, sitting there, I was like, this is her idea. Why am I sitting here? Why am I the one waiting?
It was a creative decision on Nectar's part.
Okay.
And I stand by it.
Let's reverse the gender roles.
I think it was cute that I walked in.
I mean, like...
Wow.
What kind of tea is this?
Oh, yeah, what kind
I
of tea is
picked
that?
mint, and he's allergic to mint.
You picked mint? You chose mint?
I thought we would have 2 separate cups of
Real
tea.
quick pause. My mom,
Yeah.
when she saw this, she was like, she doesn't know you're allergic to mint tea. I was like, I think she knew.
I did.
You just didn't. You didn't know we were gonna share tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we also clarify that for sure?
Yeah.
You know, the team approached me. They said, what kind of tea would you like to drink? That was the question I was asked, and so I responded. They said, you know, this one, it was like very, I think, cinnamony, like maybe like a chai situation, which is not my fave, or mint. I was like, let's go with mint. In my head, I did not
You were
put 2 and 2
thinking light and
together.
refreshing?
No, I just didn't put 2 and 2 together that we'd be sharing from the same teapot. I didn't. I was like, oh, this is the type of tea I would like to drink. And maybe that's selfish. And I
Tea for-
apologize. Let me take this moment.
Tea for.
Tea for me.
It's not tea for one, bro.
You're right. It's tea for me, and that's where
Yeah.
it rhymes. No, I literally did not put 2 and 2 together that it would be in the same teapot and that we would be doing the thing. I didn't do my homework, didn't think ahead. But
The water was good. I think it was better off.
yeah,
so,
for the record,
yeah.
please clarify that.
I was sweating.
It was water. You drink water. There were a lot of comments that were like, well, you drink the tea anyway? Like, is he okay?
Yeah. Bro, they said don't wear black. They should have told us don't wear long sleeves because it was hot.
I
It
was
real
fine.
hot.
Well, I was also wearing a crop top.
Yeah, and
so
I was sitting in the sun.
absolutely fine. But it was vibey. It was nice. But we were drinking hot. I was drinking hot tea. I'm pretty sure you were drinking hot water.
No, it was like it was
room
like
temp.
yeah, it was like cool.
Cute. But he wasn't drinking mint tea. I know him. I wouldn't put him in harm's way like that. And I've seen him eat mint voluntarily before. And I know what that looks like. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't choose that for
I was gonna
either
say
one
we've
of
seen the
us.
aftermath of that.
It's not cute.
It's not.
Respectfully.
I didn't think
So
it
you
was
chose mint tea?
Bro,
What if I
I
wanted to
thought-
try your tea?
Well, that wasn't gonna happen. Because I was picking mint. I didn't like the other one. What did you pick?
I didn't get an option because you picked. Is this mint tea?
This is mint tea. He's allergic to mint.
He's allergic to
I
mint.
really didn't think I was picking for the both of us.
That was the
It's
honest
fine.
truth.
One of us can.
Well, I guess it would be you pretending.
I'll pretend to sit. It's
Throw
fine.
water in now.
It's fine. You know how many people are like, he doesn't brush his teeth? Bruh.
That's true. They're like, what kind of toothpaste?
Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're gonna say and why?
Yeah, because I have anxiety. I'm the type of person who thinks about what I'm gonna say in a voicemail. Every time I watch this, I'm like, and then I have to hang up and call. I should have kept that one in the drafts.
Wait,
Like I didn't have to tell people that.
if you think you should have kept that one in the draft, I should have kept what I'm about to say
raw
next to the
dog?
draft.
I raw dog. I raw dog phone call.
You rock dog conversation.
I raw dog the phone call. My mom's not gonna like that. Yeah.
And she didn't like that.
Before making
She
a-
surely
no, I
did
don't.
not.
I kind of just go in. I'm like, what are the objectives?
See, I need that type of confidence in my life.
I think you do too.
Yeah.
What item has the most sentimental value to you?
Here we go.
Ring.
Wearing it?
Yeah.
This is the point in the video. We're 4 minutes in, right? It's an 18-minute video. I thought we were going to get more emotional, perhaps halfway
Later.
through.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna be really in a real way at minute 8.5. And then we were gonna bust out the what's the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you questions.
Second question.
But that is the second question in the video. And so,
Yeah,
you know.
I like alternate because the tan is terrible. And then like while I was in Texas, everybody thought I was married, and that was a conversation. People in the comments thought I was married. Somebody DM'd me and was like, "How do you have a female best friend in a marriage?" And I was like, "I'm not married. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you about that experience. I've never experienced it before." It's awkward. It's very awkward in a grocery store. So.
Are you wearing it?
What
Yeah.
item has the most sentimental?
You're still wearing it.
Still married.
Still married.
Still
I know, I'm like,
married.
still married. I was like, what hand is that? Are you married?
No, it's literally
You
my,
still need to
my
tell
right
me?
hand.
I know.
Yeah.
Different hand.
Um,
Could you put a before and after?
Don't get the ash.
Put it side by side. Oh God, no.
My best friend passed away.
I'm like, this is how we make this part less hard to listen to.
Elementary school got one, and I haven't taken it off since. Like, I wear it to prom, all my graduations, all the stuff. To me, it symbolizes walking with her and like her still being able to do all the things I get to do with me. So yeah, I don't plan on taking it off every time. I'm gonna get married with this on.
What is your most terrible?
I didn't like the giggle.
Because I just thought it was funny. Especially like after we just talked about like death. But what is your most terrible memory?
Oh, well.
I can just girl talk.
I agree with the ad. We can skip this part.
You guys okay out here? Hey, mama, yeah, we're like...
Please, Selena.
You'll rewind the YouTube video.
That is something that we now say in our house often.
If you rewind
the YouTube video,
yeah.
It's a good little phrase.
I think
Yeah.
it gets worse than like finding out someone that close to you is gone. Especially for both of us, you know, younger than 20.
Yeah.
I won't speak for you, but you know, like this loss of childhood that inherently happens after that. Having to face tragedy that young and not even understanding who you are yet, not even understanding what the world is yet, not even understanding death yet at 10 for me, and then having to deal with it. I remember very explicitly like the day my mom told me, not that she was already gone, but that she was going to be. But I remember I like wailed, like cried, yelled, cried. And I still remember the sound of my own crying.
My mom cried
So
when she
that
watched that.
is-
Yeah.
That's hard.
I honestly, I think this is my mom's I least agree favorite with part you. of this video. I think attached to it is how my aunt told me, and the fact that I was the one, since I was there, that was delegated to tell my mom.
Oh my God.
And I had to call her. I had to call my mom over the phone and tell her, and
This might be a horrible time to say this, but I really miss those classes. I lost those classes. We recorded this at the end of last year, and then I went clubbing like a month later around Thanksgiving. Why was I clubbing on Thanksgiving? Thank you for
This is
asking.
where you want to tell this story?
I feel like it was like a good rule.
Why not
Comedic
let it
relief.
roll?
Is that what you want to do?
I mean, we can skip this
Please hold.
portion.
Please hold. If you'll fast forward the YouTube video.
Yeah. She told me that my dad was dead. Moment
It's
cries.
not funny.
It's not. That's why I skipped it.
Oh my
Now you can
God.
talk about your glasses.
Okay, so I went clubbing on Thanksgiving. You're horrible. This is a mess. It's like Julie's never inviting us back. Sorry, excuse me. Nectar is never inviting us back. Yeah, I went clubbing and I lost my glasses in a club. Here's the thing. I'm legally blind in one eye. So imagine me trying to do any daily tasks with no glasses. There's no point in me bringing that up other than to say I didn't realize just now that I still had those glasses at the time. And I miss them dearly.
What club was it?
Starts with a T in WeHo. Trunks? Why? Have you seen my glasses there? Has anyone seen a pair? Please. I love those glasses so much. Would really love them back. Would kill for them back. Thanks for the best. Not the spit, babe.
I'm cracking a little bit. Yeah.
Appreciate you. If you do see my glasses, I beg. Hit me up on Instagram.
If anybody sees
I miss
them.
them so much.
Is he still coming Thursday? She was like, no. Ooh. Did we ever talk about this after? Like, did I ever finish that story for you?
That's pretty damn bad.
No.
I'm gonna take that as a sign that it's
Can I
not
get a
necessary
second?
then.
Okay.
What was this like for you?
Thank you for asking. It was important. It's not funny. It was important for me. The reason why I said very explicitly, do you want to take a minute and go, is because I know you. And I felt like you were going to tell yourself to power through. I didn't know if you knew was an option that you could take a second.
I didn't.
You know what I mean? Which is why I was like, it is very important for me
Yeah.
seeing this. I never heard the story before. The first time I'm hearing the story, we've been best friends for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
The first time I'm hearing the story is on camera. And I'm like, I know this is big because it was big for me to tell you the story you already knew. So I was like, I want to make sure that you feel empowered to just take a minute.
No, yeah, I didn't even think about the idea of taking a minute, and then you put it in the space. Nobody said anything, and I was like, yeah, let me tiptoe on out.
It's because I know him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a second and go.
Yeah. Sitting there though, I feel like if somebody needed a minute, take a minute. It was emotional. It was, heavy. And I had no problem sitting there for a few minutes and waiting for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. What made you get up?
I think honestly somebody asked me to.
Age. Hello.
I was just gonna wash my face super quickly.
Don't mess up that beautiful face.
That's how I knew I was nervous.
The baby
The
talk?
baby voice.
The baby talk. Well, no, that's what made me laugh. It was like, don't mess up that beautiful face. I was like, oh, God.
I was nervous.
I was like, we're off track.
No, we are off track.
Yeah.
They'd asked me to go check on you. Like I knew I didn't get unmiked. I knew I was mic'd up. But in my head, nothing
Yeah.
would be shared.
Because when this came out and I was like watching it, I was like, they heard everything.
Everything.
Yeah. I was like, fuck.
Like, thank you, Nectar Sound Team. Much
Yeah.
appreciated for keeping everything else out.
Yeah.
Any more?
I can't remember who asked the last question.
I did.
Okay, word.
Most terrible memory.
God, sheesh.
Have you ever thought or seen me as more than a friend?
You read that fast. I would say yes.
You did read that fast.
I read everything fast.
Not to take I feel awkward saying that. Not in like a bad way.
I really feel like people took me answering that honestly and quickly and ran with
Sprinted.
it. Sprinted.
Yeah.
Like
Sha'Carri Richardson. Just fucking Zoom.
Sha'Carri.
No, Sha'Carri. She corrected somebody yesterday. I saw a video.
But she said Sha'Carri.
Exactly, Sha'Carri. That's not the point.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, sorry.
Congrats.
I think we mesh really well. And I think a lot of the time I've spent kind of figuring things out past relationships. I've kind of grown to say, what do I want in a relationship? What do I want in a partner? What don't I want? And I feel like you hit a lot of those attributes. And I feel like it's a lot of me being like, what about Tatiana? And then me like, nah.
Heavy on the nah, bro. Like
Heavy on the knob.
no, I'm not saying no. Not heavy on the nah.
I get it. I'm ugly. I'm dumb.
Shut up. I'm just saying, like, people were like, I think it started with the idea of this being my idea and bringing you on. But from then on, I got so many DMs from a lot of international people, for one, where men were like, how did you get out of the friend zone? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I was like, just genuinely be friends with people. Like, but I don't know. It's a hard topic, I guess.
Dad,
I was like, let's recenter.
Dad at the international.
Bro, so many men from Africa on top of that.
A lot of people from Brazil.
Everyone in the friend zone is like, this is our savior.
Yeah, like literally. There's this one guy who sent me this long I read all of it, explaining. He was
Everything.
like, I've been best friends with this girl since I was 12. We're 24 now. Blah da 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 da. She's dating this person. And I was like, are y'all genuinely friends? And like we're just like going back and forth. And he's texting me at random hours because he's across overseas. And I'm kind of like, oh, like let me see what this is about. But then there was this one guy. I read all the comments. I don't know.
Every single, that is, can we say it now? I was going to say it at the end. Every single comment. How many are there as of today? Will it tell us the total number? 1,909. We have read every single comment and we have discussed every single one.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But there was this one guy who commented and was like, basically called me a sucker because of like the situation. Same username DMs me and is like, I had this situation with this girl from college. And I was like, I screenshotted it. And I was like, this you? He blocked me. I thought so. I thought so. I was like, this name looked real familiar.
said,
I scrolled.
"This you?"
I didn't give a fuck. When I tell you, I was like this. I was looking at comments. I said, I've seen that name before.
And he found it.
So
And I found it.
was it that like people in the comment section made the assumption that you had asked her to be in this video,
Mhm.
but actually she had asked you to be in the video?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people commented with the assumption that he was in love with me.
Yeah.
And this video was like the way to put me, like give me an ultimatum essentially and like figure out what things were. And that was just, it never occurred to me that anybody would ever think that. I guess like, you can
we
never
don't think
predict.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, you can never predict like
Yeah.
what people are gonna say, but it was my idea. I was scrolling and I saw the opportunity to do
Yeah.
this video and I think I FaceTimed you immediately. I was just like,
I was
answer
still
it.
in Texas at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different state, different time zone. Called him and I was
I
like,
think a lot of people commented first and then would go to social media and see your post because it was after that where I started to get like a lot of like the like friend zone DMs and stuff like that. So I think they saw your post.
because you're also on my social media. We have been friends for years.
For
so it's
yeah,
like
exactly.
People are
yeah.
taking this 18-minute video
Yeah.
and then
Summing up 6 years.
summing up,
Yeah.
going to our social media, like scrolling through, maybe seeing older photos together,
Yeah.
whatever, and assuming and kind of building out the story that makes sense in their head,
Yeah.
and then projecting that onto us as our reality.
I don't
It's
think I
not true.
saw like a correct narrative.
A
maybe
correct
like
narrative?
maybe a few, but they seem to be like older people.
Yeah, there were a number of. I would agree with that. There were a number of people that seemed older, or I was assuming were older.
Yeah.
And they just said the sweetest things. Like, yeah, because I don't want to just talk about the bad stuff. There were so many sweet comments.
true.
People being
That is
like,
very true.
no matter what the relationship is between these two people, you can tell they're like, they love each other. They're supposed to be loved there. And I wish that I could like bond with someone like that. It's
Yeah.
like, thank you. That is exactly how we felt coming out of this video. And that's what I wanted the takeaway to be after we finished.
I think the comment section really made me realize that so many people our age don't have genuine friendships. Because I was like, if you can't be friends with a woman for more than a year without there being some type of like sexual attention or like resentment, y'all were never friends to begin with. You were interested from the get-go, from the day y'all met.
And you might not have been honest about that with yourself
you
or
weren't
her.
being honest about it versus like we were friends and we dated other people and we were friends. Like, you know, like we've never been in like a situation before this where there was like any interaction outside of us dating other people. So it was like
We were only single at the same time.
4 days.
For 4 days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people commented about that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
Because it just never seemed like an option.
People
eh?
took that as a flat no. And I was like, she
It
said,
never,
I
ever,
don't
ever
know.
seemed like-
Not only did I say it, I don't know, I paused. And the pause was not because I was lying. It was not because I was thinking about what to say. Like, how
Yeah.
do I let him down easy? We have been best friends for years.
I don't fear hurting your feelings, and I know you don't fear hurting mine.
No, because
So-
it's not because we're not like I'm not gonna say we're incapable of hurting each other's feelings, but I know no matter what, like
We'll be
I
fine.
trust.
Yeah.
Let me say this: I trust that you are never trying to intentionally hurt me.
Yeah.
So if something that you say hurts me, I take a sec. I listen to what you're saying. I ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you clarify that? Like, that hurt?
No, you said, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? I have said that and will continue to say that,
Yeah.
Drewski style. Yeah, I'm like never, I'm always assuming best intent. Like where we went to school, they were heavy on assume best intent, and I took that with me and ran.
Yeah.
I'm never assuming the worst intent. I'm always thinking like, okay, you're communicating your truth, and you know, if it hurts me, it hurts me, but like let's get to the root of it.
Yeah, let's like,
Because
evaluate and talk about it.
something I say all the time, especially recently, is like feelings are just information.
Yeah.
So how you're feeling in that moment, how you're feeling about a person, how you're feeling about a situation is just information for you on how to move forward. That's how I feel. And so this question, I had never thought about it before. I had literally, like, you were watching me in 4K.
Think about it.
Think about it and
Yeah.
consider something that I've
Is it
never
4K?
considered. LOL, is it 4K? I'm like,
I don't think it's okay.
1080p.
It's 1080p.
It's YouTube.
We'll upgrade the package soon. No, but yeah, I was not lying. This was not a lie. I'm genuinely stopping and thinking here, and my answer really is
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it just never seemed like an option, Age.
I like how they spell my
It
name.
never, ever seemed like an
doesn't
option.
know. I think it's
So
YouTube.
I didn't let myself think about that for
word.
so long. But it wasn't like the secret 4 or 5 year long like pining after you either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the most overlap we've had when we were both single was like that 4 days.
It's like hashtag 4 days.
4 days. Yeah, we were both single for the first time. At the same time, I mean. Horridly down under.
I talked about
Just-
this earlier.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Horridly down bad. Speaking for myself, I felt like you were one of the only people that fully understood me.
I still
Even
think
if you
that.
didn't agree
Me too.
with every single thing that I said, or like you just made me feel really heard and seen and understood. At a time where I needed to feel seen and understood, because I was in so much pain and confusion and embarrassment, and I don't know, like a lot of guys, to be honest, like take advantage of that emotional vulnerability
'Cause
and
they're
try
not
to
really
turn it into something it's
friends.
not. And
A lot of people take advantage of
Oh,
that
yeah.
vulnerability. That is something
Not
I
just
wish I
men.
said.
Yeah.
We left that video. We were like chatting. We were, debriefing as best friends do. And I was like, oh, and when I said this, like, what do you think? And then he was like, oh, you said, or whatever. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I said, a lot of people take advantage of that opportunity. And he was like, you said a lot of guys.
You said a lot because when you said it, I was thinking about it. I thought about the college we went to, obviously, and I was like, no, like women too.
Yeah.
The they thems,
All of it.
like the she theys, the he theys, like the she's. like deserves,
No,
like
it's true.
I was like all of them. I was like there are people in every community that would take advantage of situations
It's
like that.
true. It's true. So I do wish I said that because that is the most accurate.
You were just there for me.
You wanna count that?
And feelings are weird, feelings are complicated, but we were the only two people we hung out with for a week.
Yeah.
We got sick together, like quarantined together.
I'm still convinced we had COVID.
Yeah. I don't know what purpose there is to really bring this up, but Dr. Fauci, if you're watching, like in January of 2020, you know what I mean? Like, is it possible that the two of us in Boston, Massachusetts, had COVID?
I'm convinced we had COVID.
Because I do think we did. So
Carry on.
we were quarantining though. I know. I'm like, it's us.
Neither of us had left Boston.
We were patient zero.
Like, 0 and
somehow-
1.
Zero, duh. We were patient 0 and 1, and we were
Yeah.
just like in the middle of Western Mass, like
Yeah.
somehow.
Staring at the ceiling, talking about classes and shit. Like it's
Just foolish.
nothing crazy.
But yeah, Dr. Fauci, hit me up. You know, I'm just wondering, like, is it possible? Because if so, I have a book to write. You know what I mean?
For survivors.
That's what I mean. Would you not write that with me?
I feel like more for me, I kind of described it as us both being in terrible spots for like similar reasons, and like having that person you could like go to like emotionally and be like and talk about things to, and like, oh, this sucks, this person sucks.
Yeah.
And instead of it being like so solution oriented, for once it was like, let's wallow in this, let's talk about this.
People
let's
did
feel our
not like
feeling.
the word wallow. Oh my god!
As soon as he said it, I was like, he's gonna say it.
I
he's
said
gonna
it.
say
I said it twice, and somebody was like, "Oh, they're just trauma bonded." He talks about wallowing in like his emotions. I'm like, just let people feel their feelings. Good God.
I think there was one specific comment that was like, "Oh, it's the only word he knows." Like it was something like that, and I was like, "Bro, he said it twice."
I said it twice.
and he used it aptly. Like let's not do the vocab thing with us, please. Let's not. It gets on my nerves.
Ended up just being us for like a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It was nice. And you're fun to cuddle with. That was fun.
I knew it.
Every single reaction video to this video, it's like some guy with gamer headphones, and
Like
he's
this?
like exactly. Please, it's me. Please put me in a dark room. Okay, every single reaction video to this video, and there are a number of them listed here.
Yeah.
No, please, actually, don't endorse them. And every single guy reacting to the video is like, "What? They cuddled? Nah, they didn't just cuddle." Bleh. We literally just cuddled. And here's the thing, I feel, to your point, as though if cisgender heterosexual men had more genuine friends with each other, with each homosocial relationships, or otherwise, that wouldn't have been so shocking to them. Like, imagine genuine friendship and intimacy in that.
Yeah.
Like, it does not have to be sexual. It doesn't even have to be romantic. But, like, physical touch is a lot of people's love language. It's one of the big 5.
my
And
number
so
one.
it's your number 1. It's definitely on my list of probably top 2. I don't know if it's 2. I wouldn't say top 2 and it's not 2, but it's up there, right? A lot of people are like this all over the world. It's not unheard of, I don't think.
No.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. That was a big thing. A lot of people were like, "Oh, my God, they cuddled. No way. Like, they should have known this from the blah, blah, blah." We didn't know anything.
I think it's hard to comprehend the idea of experiencing intimacy outside of sexual relationships for a lot of cishet men. So I think it kind of starts there. Where their only intimate situations have been with partners.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to comprehend anything otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the problem. But,
Yeah, and that's not an attack. Let's stop typing.
Oh, I'm attacking.
Stop it. That's not an attack, all right? Let's stop typing, delete the comment that you just started writing. It's not all your fault. Men are socialized to believe that, like, physical touch is only reserved for your romantic partner or, like, your mom. That's not true.
Yeah.
You can hug your bros. You can hug your sis. I promise it's not going to kill
It'll be
you.
fine.
Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner and share a total of 5 items.
You have a lot of positive characteristics.
This is my favorite part of the video.
You're very loving. And like the people you love, you care for genuinely and wholeheartedly, without question.
It's true. You are very protective of the people that you love. It's, as somebody that's been protected by you, that's an amazing feeling. Good characteristic for you.
You're really intelligent and you use like being intelligent as like you don't make it to where people feel talked down on or condescended. I feel like you don't mind helping people get to where they need to be based off of something you know you can do better. Without them feeling like, oh, like
I feel like there are a
can't
lot of
do
people who
this.
felt
It's
a
just
certain
like, okay,
ways
like,
about
well,
what I said,
Ciao.
and I think it's because they're on the other side of the foot.
There are a lot of people that felt a lot of ways about a lot of what we said, and they let us know.
Yeah.
As soon as the video was published.
Yeah.
But more specifically, like your breadth of knowledge fascinates me. Like it is so cool. Because I used to think you were a know-it-all. And maybe you still are. I definitely used to think that about you. But I realized over time, like, you just know a little bit about a lot. And a lot about certain things for sure. But your capacity to retain new information is astonishing.
I should put this clip
Like,
like
you
on my
are a
resume or something.
I
Like
agree.
can I put that on LinkedIn?
I've already endorsed him for a job. You know what I mean? I'm like, we'll send it.
Lisa, if you see this.
You make everything feel light. Like you make life.
Somebody was like, I'm gonna use that.
Somebody did say that.
Yeah.
They said, I think they quoted you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that with my
Yeah.
wife.
I hope he remembers it.
I know. Listen, in that moment, you can see it in my face. That was one of the sweetest things anybody's ever said to me.
Her.
Especially like, I guess not unprompted, but someone literally asked you. Like there was literally a question that you had to answer, but like, of all the things you could have said, and that's actually something that I wanna call out too, because I think people in the comments did too. The reason why this is my favorite part of the video and why I love it so much is because none of what we said was surface level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like we could have been like, love your hair,
Yeah.
love your smile, your pretty
Yeah.
eyes, all
I
of which
didn't
is true.
even think of physical
but
stuff.
I didn't even
Yeah.
conceptualize physical. And again, it's not because he's ugly, and it's not because I'm ugly. If I was ugly, would you tell me?
I'll tell you.
If I was a worm, would you tell me?
Or
Would you
skip that
feel like me?
question.
No, but it'll relate. It's not because we're ugly, okay? But my brain didn't even go there. It just immediately, we went to these qualitative, like, just beautiful descriptors
Yeah.
that I think really capture the essence of who we are, or who we try to be.
I mean, that's 6 years of another year has passed since then. So that's 6 years of us being around each other where, you know, physical attributes is like, first time I met you, I'm like, oh yeah, like she's cute. 5 years go by, like
Yeah.
you learn a lot about a person.
5 years go by, you make life feel light. Stay friends with someone for 5 years. No, be good to people.
Yeah.
And make their lives feel light. And ideally, they'll tell you.
Feel light.
Don't do this.
No, I'm serious. Like, I think
I was about to
talking
cry.
to
I felt bad because you're a crier. I was like, please don't
one of the
cry.
best things
We
I've
can't
done
both cry in this video.
I was about to say,
can
you'd
bring
already
something
cried.
So heavy to you, something that's just absolutely
So we can't
heavy
cry
on my
together.
soul, heavy on my heart, and like we'll sit and we'll talk about it. If I want solutions, he'll give me solutions. If I want to sit and wallow in my
Wallow.
self-pity,
Oh my
like
God.
he
Wallow
leaves it
counter.
with me too. But I always come out of that conversation or out of any conversation with you where I feel like I either feel figured out or I feel like even if something's still there, it just doesn't weigh on me as much.
This is actually also true for when we argue. Like even when we're that one time where you were landing back in LA from Maine and we were going at it and like we like sat down and talked about it, even though we weren't resolved afterwards, I was like, we're all right.
Yeah.
You want avocado toast? Like,
It's a real question that you
yeah.
ask. No, I think, but that's important, right? Like, in genuine relationships in general, romantic, platonic, or otherwise, like, you can tell a lot about how someone really feels about you with how they argue with you, or by how
How they
argue
treat
with
you when they're mad at you as
right?
well. Yeah.
I never, even when I disagree from the depths of my insides,
Yeah.
when I disagree with you, I'm like, yeah, but we're fine. Like, there's no love lost, and I can feel so secure in that, which is why the anger doesn't last.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I also feel like on a very real level, there are very few things that we disagree about, but when we do disagree about something, it's like four
Yeah.
paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, but talk it out.
You know what I mean? But like you just make everything feel easier.
We don't have to.
No.
Yeah,
That's a good clip.
you just didn't want to stare at me. It's okay. I
Here's
get
the
it.
thing. Thank you for saying that. It's not that I didn't want to stare at you. Let's let the ad run. It's not that I didn't want to stare at you. It's that I wasn't expecting that. You can imagine the situation that we're in. Picture yourself sitting, drinking tea.
Why are you writing a narrative?
Because I want them to be involved. Picture yourself doing this, right? we're already in like a nerve-wracking kind of situation, as you
Yeah.
said yourself in the beginning. Then I got nervous. Now we're sweating. We're drinking tea. He's drinking water, thinking it's tea, and we're chatting. And then suddenly, you're on the first date with your best friend, and then suddenly someone says,
My eyes
stare
are
at each
puffy from
other-
crying.
stare at each other
It's
in
like,
the
don't
eyes.
stare at me, bro.
Stare at each other in the eyes for 4 minutes straight. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. I was not expecting that. So that was my genuine reaction. It's not because I didn't want to look at you or whatever. One of the comments was like, oh, she didn't even want to look at his face or something like that. Bro, you try staring at someone for 4 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my eyes.
And
kinda
honestly, they
wanders.
didn't give us a timer. Part of me was like, it's been at least 5 minutes. it's been at least 5:15.
I will say, because I said in the video, I was like, wow, I didn't feel like that was 4 minutes. I went to bed that night and I actually thought, I remember this distinctly. I thought to myself, that wasn't really 4 minutes, was
It wasn't.
I was like, was that a 2-minute timer? Was that a 1 minute timer? That didn't feel like 4 minutes, but I think it was.
The first minute of it felt so long to me. Then I was like, Satiana, bro. I was like, relax, chill. But
I just didn't know what to do. What do you do for 4 minutes?
stare.
No, I was singing in my head. I was like, this is a long time.
You moved around a lot, which is I'm not used to.
I know. I'm not fidgety or nervous in general.
Yeah.
But
In
again,
the
what are
beginning,
you
I
supposed to
felt
do?
uncomfortable, like staring.
Oh, oops.
And then over time, I just got more and more comfortable. And then it got to a point where like eye contact for that long of a period just kind of felt more natural.
I don't think I'm scared of silence necessarily, but I just thought it might be weird. And then I found myself counting. And then as the longer that I looked into his eyes, I forgot to count.
Okay.
And I was just
Okay, you got me. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Because someone pointed this out to me in person after watching the video. It's true. You can tell there is a genuine glow and happiness in me post, what does it say, 10 minutes after the date.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, like there's a warm aura, like my cheek, like I'm glowy. It might be the sweat. I was glowy, like I'm, like you know
Yeah.
that little, like that, that feeling in your
Yeah.
cheeks. I see it. I can't deny it. It was there.
I think this is my favorite part of the video because I had never seen you from like the eye contact and on. I had never seen you like that nervous and like that's like 5 years. I've never seen you in a nervous situation. I've seen you in like high pressure situations, but I've never seen you nervous like that. And I was like,
But you know
Word.
what? You know what? I hope you don't take this the wrong way. Edit this well, I beg. Okay? I think for the majority of our friendship, the first 4 years we knew each other, it was like a very, I think it was a very like big sister, little brother relationship in a real way.
yeah,
I'm a year older than him. And even like I was his orientation counselor. Like, you know, like even just on the outset, I mean, like the dynamic between us was like, I've been here a year longer. I'm
Yeah.
someone you can come to with any questions, ask me
Yeah.
anything. Like,
I'm
here
coming
give
to you about what
advice.
professor I should take.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like that was like our dynamic for such a while, for such a long time. That it's not that I wasn't comfortable being nervous around you, but that wasn't the vibe. Like I was
Yeah.
supposed to be like the strong one that knew what she was talking about, that like could always be your rock and like your solid support. And it's not that you weren't also supportive, especially when I needed you to be. But I think the dynamic that was established on the outset was
Yeah.
like, you can come to me, I'm supposed to be stable, I'm supposed to be this. So that's why you never saw me nervous, right? You know, you saw a range of emotions in me, but I don't think like frazzled was ever really one of them.
Yeah, no.
Especially just like who I was and like what I chose to do in school. Like I couldn't really appear frazzled for sure.
Yeah.
I had to make sure everybody thought I had my shit together. And yeah, you're obviously now one of the closest people in the universe to me, and you've seen me like that many a time. And I think it started here.
I disagree.
Do tell.
I think it started that first Thanksgiving after you graduated. My first time in Florida. I think that was kind of like the shift in dynamic for us because it went from like brother and sister
Not because
dynamic.
anything happened.
It went from like a brother and sister dynamic to like full support, like two pretty best friends. Like, you feel me? Like type of shit. So it's like we had more conversations surrounding like your intimate life than what I had known before.
Yeah.
So that was like a very like
I
was
was
a bit-
recently single.
yeah.
We can not avoid it.
It's
That's
okay.
fine.
It's okay.
I
But
needed
yeah, that I think that was a very big like shift in like the dynamics for us, like emotionally.
I couldn't avoid being frazzled anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason, obviously. But I think that was really important for us.
Yeah.
thinking like, what is he thinking right now? Like, why can't I read him? I thought I knew him better than this.
Like, look,
and
I
then it
can't
just flew
stop
by. Like,
smiling.
the timer went off, and I was like, wait, that felt like 2 minutes, not 4.
Somebody time-stamped that moment and was like, oh my god, they're flirting. And I was like, at the time, that was my
As the
best
date went
friend
on,
that I
got
was
more
like
curious
kikiing
about
with.
things.
Yeah.
And it was a
I feel
crazy
like
thing that we were doing this. And
now
like,
I'm more
because it was silent, I think that was the first time I had time for my thoughts to catch up. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we weren't like on go, like answer the question or absorb this, answer that this other person is giving.
Yeah.
Because it was quiet and we could like kind of rest
Think
in
about
that.
what was
And
said.
all we had to do was stare at each other. My thoughts caught up. And I was like, uh-oh.
I think most of like the first minute, I was thinking about the fact, I can't believe I cried. Like that was like the first minute, and then I got over it and I was like, whatever, and then I moved on. So my face is like very like,
curious about things I didn't know I was curious about before I got here. And I can't really say whether those are rooted in romantic feelings or friendship, only because I feel like there's always going to be a connection with me and Tatiana, but now I feel more comfortable expressing that and kind of seeing what that might be like.
This is like the very beginning of considering each other as options. So I don't know, I think it would be a bit forward to be like, okay, now's the time, now that we've done this and we've gone on our first date technically, but yeah, I still think that we're at the beginnings of considering this idea. So I don't think it's the time, but we've set up a path for the time.
That moment for me is really interesting to watch back because I'm watching myself process everything that just happened in real time.
yeah.
And we didn't have too long in between the date finishing and like solo interviews. And I just like, I didn't know how I felt. So they're like, so how
Yeah,
do you feel?
yeah.
Like, are you ready to move forward?
I was
Are you
like
gonna
sitting
lock
there
back
and they were
in?
recording and I was like,
And so I can see myself, even now, all this time later, I'm watching myself politic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't say anything that's gonna incriminate you.
I was
Like,
doing
don't say
collateral
anything-
damage in my head.
Literally.
I was like, can I plead the fifth? Like, can I do that? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like I was on trial.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of, and that's not, anybody's fault. It was just like like you're right
Yeah.
there. Usually when you leave a date, because that's what this is, we knew it. That's what this ended up being. When you leave a date, you like call your best friend in the car. You call your parents in the car. You call like whoever your person is in the car.
Yeah.
And you talk about it, and you chat, and you say a million things that don't make sense, and you like, you figure out how you feel on the fly. Or maybe some people just think to themselves, and that's fine. You take the drive, and you whatever. We did that out loud on camera
Yeah.
in front of people that had never met us before that day,
Yeah.
knowing that it would be broadcasted onto the internet. And so it was like, very much was like, how do I not say something that won't be true by the time this goes live on the internet, and like what happens if we hadn't even had a chance to talk yet,
Yeah.
obviously, because we didn't,
I mean, I know that was the point though, like
Yeah.
us not having had a chance to talk, but I was like,
right.
I was like,
It's
I
like-
don't know, bro.
They're like, you have to make a decision. And I was like, And so that's kind of what I was thinking
That's
in my
kind of what
head.
you look like a little bit. Yeah.
That's how you know it's genuine. And that's what came out of my mouth. So just to give some behind the scenes
You
on
now
that.
have to make a decision.
that was so
Either
shit
go
to
back
me.
home if you feel it.
What?
Bro, I spent so much time stammering that everything you see is all I said.
It's just pieced together.
It's just pieced together. Because I was like, I don't know. And then they're like sitting there, they're like, well, if you had to, I was like,
Do I have to?
like, I spent so much time doing that. I feel like they were, we have to cut all of this. I was like, I don't know if there's anything there for you to use. Good luck.
They did. They got
Yeah.
got the beginning clip and the end clip because they put you first.
Feel like you
did
want to
well.
continue exploring this relationship romantically, or you can leave right now if you don't feel like there's a true romantic
I missed that
connection.
earring.
Mine?
Yeah, where's
What
your
are you gonna
earring?
do?
It's in the bottom drawer of the
Is
bag.
that like a make a decision now type beat, or
I like it.
I don't know. It was too many zesty comments. I was like, this is a lot.
That is something I would love to discuss.
The zesty comments? Oh.
Thank you.
I'm zesty. That doesn't mean I'm gay.
It's true.
That's true.
Let's set the record straight.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
You're like the record straight.
The record
so
straight,
Am I.
like-
Thank you. The record straight.
the
So am
record
I.
straight. You'd be surprised how many women love zesty men.
It's true. There was a comment that made me die laughing, and it was about your jeans being tighter than mine, and I almost lost my mind.
Feel more
Adrian,
nervous about that here.
please.
It's okay. Those jeans are loose now.
There. Hey. the foot
Even if
tapping
it's
and
not
everything. They were good with the
100%
B-roll.
romantic on either of our parts. Or
They had a
both of our
camera
parts,
everywhere, bro.
then
I'm surprised there wasn't like an over the ear or something.
It's a camera in the bathroom.
Both of us. So I'm not necessarily thinking solely friendship, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
The suspense. I think I sat there like at least 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, for a lot of people commented and they were like, oh my God, like the suspense was killing me before she walked back in. Imagine him.
Yeah,
Sitting
literally.
there. And also, imagine me, because I didn't know he was gonna be sitting there either. They were
That's
like,
fair.
okay, you're choosing to go back in. And I was like, yes, I'm choosing to go back in. And they were like, okay, we'll let you know when it's time.
Bro, when I made my choice, they were like, are you sure that's the choice you want to make? I was like, did she say no? Tell me now. Tell me now.
Have my back.
I was like, save me from the embarrassment. Like, and then I was like, no, like, I was like, no, I'm good with yes. Like, yes is fine. I was like, I feel comfortable.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah, I feel comfortable saying yes. And like, Shorty had the camera. She's like, are you sure? I was like, bruh, what did you hear?
What did you hear?
Is it the walkie? Do you hear something in the walkie? Like, tell me what's going on.
He said, loop me into the email.
Loop me in, bro. Like, forward it.
me.
Something.
BCC me.
Like, something. Jesus Christ.
But I came back in. Here I am.
After 7 minutes, bro. I had to pee. It was just a lot.
This
I thought I was gonna get later. I'm not gonna hold you.
is so soft. Like me walking in, that was such genuine vulnerability. I saw you and I was like, and I saw you be like, and it was just such a moment of like, can we just pause for a sec?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I came in
It just
so
gave
like
you a moment.
small. I was like, hi.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what was happening. It's crazy.
Does this mean that there's no letter?
I didn't read one.
That was me looking at the team because I truly didn't understand the rules.
Yeah.
That might have been me not paying attention because I was freaking out.
I think it's also because Shawty was like, you guys are best friends, so like we'll give you another option other than like
That's
yes
true,
and no.
that's
And I was
true.
like, whatever we choose, like it'll be fine. Like we'll talk about it, like whatever. But I was like, we do have to write home together. So like
So it's better not be weird.
So I was like, if there's a letter, you don't have to let her back in. Like just let me read the letter here. And then
it's
we'll
true.
swap out.
We
Like
will.
don't make it weird.
But no, actually, may I ask,
Mm.
what made you choose to come back?
Ooh, you've never asked me that.
I know.
You've never asked me that. Wow.
Exclusive. Breaking news.
Now you're watching me think on the spot in 1080p. I don't know. I knew the energy was good. The energy was good before we got there. It's us. You know what I mean? But even going into it, I was nervous because I was like, this could not go well. They could ask intimate questions and we could realize that we're not compatible in that way, which is perfectly fine. But it's just like, what happens after that was always my thought process was, we've been friends for 5 years. If this was something we were interested in, we would have done it
would've done it
already.
by now.
Exactly. So the likelihood of us saying no to me was high. And then I was in that moment, I was like, I'm kind of feeling a yes. And like, I didn't want to think too much into it because I was like, don't say no. And then like you guys talk about it at home and it's like, oh, like I would have said this or I would have said that. And it's like, okay, like you didn't choose what was genuine to you. So I was like, yeah.
It was important to me to also,
Yeah.
for that to also be the case. Like, we went into this video, it was very important to me as well. We came into this video being like, all right, no matter what happens, be honest,
Yeah.
be genuine, be real.
Don't worry about hurting my feelings.
There's no point in lying.
Yeah.
There's no point
if we're gonna
in-
lie, why do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not for the camera. This is not for the internet. This is for us. And hopefully our real, honest story, our real relationship can translate to others and they can find something useful, valuable, entertaining,
Yeah.
you know, something in it. They can find value in it for any reason.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we went into it that way. Because everything I can say with 100% honesty here on this day, every single thing that you're seeing here is real.
Yeah.
The team did such an amazing job, like, making sure we were comfortable. Look at how beautiful the set is. I remember walking in and being like, I think we might
Same.
fall in love here. Like, I think you're right. Like, this chair, yeah, it does lend to falling in love. It's so beautiful. Yeah, but I don't even know what I'm saying. It was just what an opportunity to do. We weren't coming onto this to lie.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
If anything, I feel like we both use it as a neutral space.
That is
because
true.
it wasn't a space we ever thought we would be in again
Yeah.
to have any other sort of interactions and conversations. So it's like leave it all here.
Leave it all on the table. Leave it all on the field. That's what athletes say, right? I'm not an athlete.
We can. I was like, bro, they gonna send an owl a letter or something.
I have the zoomies.
I didn't know what to do when I saw you. I was like, and he hands me a letter.
Remy was like, I swear, if she walks in here and hands me a letter and walks out, I was like, just keep us separate at that point. Just bring me the letter.
You just come back.
And then I got nervous.
You smell yummy.
Fucking cold. 911.
God forbid a man not stink.
No, not that. Every comment that was like, oh, timestamp 1720. Talking about like him smelling good. Like people aren't allowed to smell good.
Yeah, I shower.
You know what I mean?
I recommend it.
Showering?
Yeah.
I know, it's like ad.
It's,
Hashtag sponsored
I still smell good.
by whatever fragrance you were wearing.
It's hot. I was nervous. It was weird. You wanna know why? I know something shifted. Something shifted, I fear.
Something shifted up here.
Let me tell you why. Because I missed you. I was like, oh gosh, that was nice. Sitting across from you,
Yeah,
asking questions. I thought I knew everything about you.
that's very true.
I heard stuff that I never heard before. It's crazy.
I was like, I feel like now I'm more curious and I have more questions that I didn't even know I had it.
You know what did it for me? Staring at you.
I said the same thing.
Because I was like, what is he thinking?
I was like, I've never
about
looked
right
at her ass that long. Like, continuously for
now? I asked that.
I didn't say that. But one last sip of your peppermint.
You know what? What else of your peppermint?
We can't stop it yet.
I was petty. Because of the walk-off?
There's still 13 seconds. This moment here. No, not even this one. This
That one. Yes. Oh my
Wow.
God.
When people found out that women could be taller than men, it really rocked their world. I mean, wow. I want to take this moment, actually. Thank you so much.
People don't like to see
Please.
short men succeed.
Excuse me. I'm making a statement, a public statement. I would like to apologize to anybody that I genuinely offended with my height. I know it really caught a lot of people off guard and really took you by storm. But women are allowed to be tall, and we're allowed to be taller than men. We're allowed to be taller than the men in our lives. And I really hope that you, I'm not going anywhere with this, I'm like, but in a real way.
I don't think it was about you being taller than me. I think it was about me being shorter than you. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it wasn't about your height. It was about mine.
I don't know what it was about. There were a lot of height comments. I get, like, we know how tall we are. We see it. We live with it. We didn't necessarily need to be told 909 of the comments.
I think it's both. Like for a pair, I'm a short man and you're a tall woman. So
true.
I think the combination
Just in general.
is just like
Combination.
out screaming.
Shout out to Drake.
What happened right after this?
We got California Chicken Cafe.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I think we both allowed each other and ourselves to have space because we didn't talk about it that day. And then the next morning came and I was making breakfast and I was like,
Hey.
"Yo, do you want to talk?" I was like, "Yeah,
Let's
talk.
let's unpack.
Let's talk about it."
And then we took it from the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a long conversation too.
I know.
Yeah,
If y'all thought it was long for you.
yeah,
If y'all thought the 18 minutes was long for you.
yeah. I feel like we talked about that for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
We're here a year later talking about it. What do
yeah,
you mean the
that's
next
very
2
true.
weeks?
That's very true. Yeah,
Like, we never stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
Not in like an incessant, annoying way. We just kept, what this video did was, like, you said this, open a door to what we never knew existed.
yeah,
Not necessarily immediately, like, into a relationship. Like, we didn't wake up the next morning and you were making breakfast and I was like, hey, boyfriend. Like, that's not what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
That doesn't even happen in real life. Like, so a lot of the comments were like, we need a part 2. Are y'all in love? Are y'all getting married? Are y'all together? It was like,
yeah. There was a point where we like actually had to like stop reading the comments because it was getting so tricky for us to talk.
Yeah.
Like without outside expectation. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I feel like if anything, right after the video, it was the opposite for us because we both took so much space to think about things, like from like start to finish. Like the living together aspect, the moving into a new space together aspect, like all of just everything in general. So yeah.
we ultimately, as a next step, like not an immediate next step, but after this video, moved in together. We still live with Emily.
Yeah.
It is not the story that so many people, I think, either think it is or
Wanted.
write that they want it to
Yeah. Well, to clarify, I was visiting LA for
At the time.
Yeah, at the time trying to decide if I was gonna live here, and then we after Jubilee had a conversation and was like,
be. Nectar.
sorry.
Take the sentence
You
back.
can- sorry, bleep that out. This is after Nectar, we sat down and like had like a conversation about like me moving to LA and being in LA and like living as a house of 3.
It was good. I don't regret it.
No.
I love it. I love living with this guy. Are you kidding? He still makes me breakfast. He made me breakfast this morning.
I didn't make myself breakfast. I had a meeting.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were not roommates at the time.
No.
You were visiting.
Yeah.
Now you guys are roommates. How long have you guys been living together?
Since October.
Since October,
Yeah.
technically, but like on the lease, new place, new start, January 1st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made like the full move to LA 2 weeks after the video.
2 weeks after the video.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pretend like the video had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
It really, in a real way, like this experience serves as like a turning point for us.
Yeah.
And again, not because we jumped into a relationship after, but because I was looking at you differently, like in a real way. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like
Yeah.
I just learned this incredibly emotional thing about this person and how it shapes his worldview. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like I've never sat down for 4 minutes and really looked at you. Like that changes how you see a person, romantically or not.
It changed how we communicated.
Changed
too.
how we communicate.
Really changed how we communicated with each other.
Not just this experience, but more so, even more accurately, everything that came out after it.
Yeah.
The aftermath.
The aftermath.
That's really
was,
what I wanna
Oh my
discuss.
god, yeah.
This video did not get posted and like fall into the ether. It did for all of you. It did not for us.
Yeah.
Like
it was the opposite of what I was expecting.
our lives were like we were fighting for our lives sometimes.
Yeah.
It felt like, right? And that's dramatic. It sounds dramatic, but yeah, we had some really hard conversations with some people that are used to be and or still are very important to us. They were very confused about this video. And I think, again, a lot of the confusion from others, I'm not going to pretend to know where every person was coming from, but I think a lot of the confusion came from an assumption that this video was a hard launch.
Yeah.
It was like, oh,
Yeah.
Tatiana and Adrian are dating. Oh my God, did you see the video? Oh my God, did you know that Tatiana did? Whoa.
When
Like,
at the end of the video, we're both literally talking about how we're going to have conversations and we're going to figure things out and figure out what we feel like is best for us versus people being like, you both said yes, that's a yes, that's that.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting people to be like, oh, Adrian and Tatiana, like people who have known us for years.
Right.
Versus after that, it was like me and you against everybody we knew. And it was just like, I feel like personally, like there was resentment kind of like between us at the beginning when we started dealing with the effects of the people who are currently in our lives.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
sending you screenshot of what this person said or what this person posted, or like there were points where
on Beyonce's internet.
on Beyonce's internet,
Like, posted on Beyonce's
like
internet.
literally, like, but even like I had an ex comment on a YouTube video and then like delete the comment. I had already seen it. I saw the screenshots, but like just
We read every comment.
we read every comment, but just like the entitlement to our lives, I felt like caused a rift while we were also trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So.
I think though we have to acknowledge like we went on this experience, we did this knowing it would be posted to the internet.
Yeah,
I'm not
didn't-
naive. Like we're not
Yeah.
naive enough to think that like, oh, people felt so entitled to like this experience. We knew it was going to be on the internet. So yes, there's a certain, to an extent, we gave this experience to others. But like it's also, I don't know, I assumed people wouldn't take it that far. I assumed it would still be ours at the end of the day that other people were witnessing or observing.
And it wasn't.
Or even, and it just turned into like, oh, I'm experiencing this with you. Or like, I know everything about you. I know it because I know you in real life and I know him in real life. I know exactly what happened after this video. You don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. We didn't. I don't. Like, we're a year out and there are some times where I look at him and I'm like,
what the
did
fuck?
you mean
Yeah.
by that? And
Yeah.
why did you say that? And what? And
Yeah.
there's stuff that got cut out. Like, again, it was a much longer they didn't have us on for 18 minutes. And, like, it was, cut. It was a much longer video. there's a lot to think about.
I think what I meant by entitlement was not entitlement in the sense of like the video itself, because like of course we knew it was going to go out, but more entitlement in them making sure that we knew about their feelings.
Yeah.
Like that feels like a lot of, like, part of me a lot of the times like I kind of don't care, but now I have to deal with it because like you've told me this thing and this is happening, and now there's a whole nother rift that wasn't necessary. So
I remember, on hopefully a lighter note but related, somebody on Hinge messaged me. And it was somebody that I'd matched with. I was excited about. I was like, ooh, you're hot. And the first message that this person sent me was that you in that T for 2 video?
yeah.
I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Adrian, it seems we have to have a conversation.
I mean, it was mutual. Somebody I was talking to, like, started on apps and got off of apps, literally sent me the video, was like, great video, and blocked me. And I was like,
Yeah.
me?
Because again, it was an assumption that like this video was a hard launch, and
Yeah.
so we had to have been lying to anybody we were dating at the time, or like even just talking to. Like literally
Yeah.
on Hinge, I matched with someone we hadn't even had our first conversation yet, and they were like, "But isn't this you?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, that's me." And I also exist in this present moment where that is not the case. Like, what? Or that is the case. Yes, I said, because I still stand by everything I said in this video. Like I said, like it was real, it was honest, it was genuine. And it did open a door, and I still stand by that. But
Yeah.
duality, people. Like we can absolutely hold two truths at the same
duality
time.
and nuance
Nuance.
simultaneously.
Gray space.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Listen, I love black and white, right? But there does exist the gray space, and that is like entirely what this opened up. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't mean that it's easy. It actually is the
Yeah.
opposite. Things got a lot harder. Things were
Signi-
so much easier when we were like,
significantly
oh, buddy, pal.
Yeah.
Like things were, sorry, that was kind of hard.
It's okay. Somebody getting frustrated.
No, I just like got heated. It was just like, you know, before this video, before we ever stepped foot on set, it was super easy.
Yeah.
That was
I
my
think
best.
that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Because everything was so easy,
Yeah.
and then
Never
and then
thought it wouldn't
wasn't.
be easy.
Yeah.
It was difficult. We had hard conversations. We still have hard conversations because of what this opened up.
I'm gonna be that asshole. But what happened? You know, did we give it a shot? Did we try things romantically?
I did it in the video. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I've never felt about a person the way I feel about Adrian. Like, you are, it's not just best friend. And I can acknowledge that out loud. I can acknowledge that on camera. I can acknowledge that to you. I have a million times. But there's something so, not even like scary, right? Like, I'm not operating from fear when I say like, oh, there's something so scary about like the idea of dating. It's just like, I know, and I've told this to you, it's not an easy thing to hear or talk about. But like,
These are all things we've already talked about.
I wouldn't spring anything on you on camera.
No, yeah.
Not at this point. But like, I know I'm not done dating. I know like I want to date, and like we live in LA, and
Yeah.
you know stuff is all
We're
over the
young.
place. We're young,
We're young.
and I know the way that I feel about you. At the same time, we're holding two truths. Walk with me, right? I could like see myself building a life with you in a real way.
Yeah.
Like everything, you said this in the video a year ago, and I mean this today too. Like everything that I want in a partner, you have. Like I have no doubts. I have no doubts about like how you would raise kids. Like I know what you look like as a parent. Like because of how
My niece.
because of his niece. Like
Yeah.
I know even our dog, like my dog, like that we literally both take care of. Like I see you in those roles, in similar roles, and I can just, it's so easy to imagine the way that we work together, the way that we communicate,
Yeah.
the way that we trust one another, the way that you talk to me when you're angry. Like that's how I want my partner to talk to me when he's angry. Like that's how I want things to go. At the same time, I feel like, yeah, I'm not done dating. I'm not done like exploring everything the world has to offer. I don't even know where I'm gonna live in 3 months.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want us to, I'm speaking for myself because you're gonna go after. I don't want us to commit to being, it was really important to me that this video wasn't like, oh, okay, we should start dating now. Like this is A, and then that's B.
Yeah.
And we just have to like, da-da-da-da. I didn't want that to be that. I was like, if we're gonna start something, if we're gonna genuinely invest in one another romantically, and build a partnership, a home together, like just the two of us or something. Like
We have to be ready for it.
if that's what we're gonna choose together, it has to be an active choice.
Yeah.
And I want to be ready for it, and I don't want it to be because of a video.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be because of our first date that was fabricated, not fabricated, but like prompted, curated is the word I was
Curated,
looking for.
yeah.
Like, I want the questions I ask you to come from my brain.
Yeah.
I want what you talk to me about to come from you. I want it to be what you want to share, you know? And that doesn't mean that this wasn't an amazing experience or it wasn't real. It was, truly. But if we were going to start like this life that I really could see, I wanted it to be because we both
On our
actively
own
chose.
terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's like where we are in the conversation, even as of now.
Yeah.
Like that's how I genuinely feel about it now. I'm not ready to settle, and like you are somebody that I could settle with, and so it doesn't feel fair. Not settle for, like that's not what I mean. I mean like settle down with. Yes, thank you. You are somebody that I could settle down with, and I'm not ready to settle down. So it's
Yeah.
like, what does that look like? I'm sure a million people would do it differently. A million couples would do it differently. Like, oh, let's just be open. Maybe that means that we're, open, or that means that we're non-monogamous. Cool. If that works for y'all, please do it. You have to remember, we've been best friends for
Yeah,
6
for a
years.
very
So it's
long
like,
time.
if that's what works for us and we feel loved and fulfilled and we are building a home together with Moose and Emily, and like, life works. For me, it's like, why try something that might not work when we have something that really works?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So what does that mean? Labels are weird and so concrete, and
Complicated.
there's a reason why most labels are stickers, because they get stuck. And that was, wait, write that down. There's guys, make a shirt. There's a reason why. No, there is, but like I didn't want us to get stuck. I didn't want us to feel trapped by this video. I didn't want us to feel trapped by the response to the video, by the comments. There were some like dark comments.
Yeah, there was a lot of self-resentment.
Phobias.
Yeah.
There were a lot of phobias
Yeah.
in these comments, and like we needed to handle that and deal with that on our own. And I didn't want a relationship to come from that. So it's a very active choice to not be dating. We are
Yeah.
not dating. Let's say it. Say it with me. We are not dating. It's like imagination. We're not. And that's a very active choice.
Yeah.
It's for, I feel, and again, I'll wrap up soon. I feel like that's the best choice I can make for myself, and that we can make for us.
Yeah. I think the great thing coming out of this was the fact that we chose what was best for us independently for us to be able to maintain our friendship.
Yeah.
I think the most complicated thing was coming out of this and having different perspectives than what we went in as, because I was never expecting to come out of this and be like, I feel differently for Tatiana. And then being at a point in my life, especially then, where I was like, I'm not ready to be in a relationship, especially a relationship where I can see myself being wholeheartedly committed to that person. It's like, I've done that, I've experienced it. I wasn't ready for it then, and I know now that I'm not ready for it now. So being in a space where we could actually be able to like literally sit and like communicate about things properly and understand that just because that happened, we feel a certain way doesn't mean it has to happen now, I think was the easiest part of all of this. Because it's like, I don't feel pressured now to maintain our friendship and a romantic relationship.
And housemateship.
And a housemateship,
we
yeah.
live together.
Yeah,
that was a big part of it. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
No, it's fine. But yeah, just I didn't feel like this has happened. These emotions have happened. We've talked about these feelings, this collection of whatever, whatever we may be feeling in the moment, whatever we may feel in the future. But I'm not ready for that right now. And I think us being on the same playing field, in different positions, but on the same playing field, was really what kept our friendship together, what kept our relationship together, and what kept us from resenting each other in any way. I feel like there's so much room for resentment for 2 5-year-long best friends to like then go into a relationship that neither of them are ready for.
Yeah.
And I would rather us be us and us stay us than to lose you.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. There was no
Yeah.
there's no room to lose you in my life. Like, at all. And so when you're looking at us in this video or in this video, please know that. Like, this is somebody that I want you in my life. until there is no life anymore. And that type of bond, I pray everyone finds, because then you'll understand. It's like that to me, this to me means so much more than having a boyfriend. I've had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I've had girlfriends. I've had partners. I get it. I know what that feels like. It's a beautiful thing. And when it flourishes, it flourishes. That's not what everything has to be.
Yeah.
Just because you have a bond, like, even if you're attracted to each other, this guy's hot. Like, he, like, makes me breakfast and he's, like, shirtless. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, it has nothing to do with that either. And I wanted to say that very explicitly because there were a lot of people in the comments that were like, he ain't like she would never like him.
I think it was a lot of transphobia.
Yeah.
And it was funny to me because I was like, you've known me since before my transition. Yeah. And I think there was a lot of absence of connection with our timeline where people weren't realizing that we didn't meet there. You know what I mean? Like we met so far from that. But yeah, I think a lot of that was wrapped around people don't like seeing short men win. I'm gonna keep saying that.
That's what we're talking this
People
up
don't
to.
like seeing short men win.
Sure.
Like, but yeah, like I completely agree with you. I think this level of love is a level that isn't experienced often. And I feel confidently in saying that, especially like seeing the stuff in the comments. And at first the comments definitely got to me because I started to feel really like unwanted or like rejected. And then I was like, how am I being rejected by somebody I know is experiencing the same level of love as me? And then it took me a long time to kind of like get out of the comments and get back into us. You know what I mean? So I was like, it's like we live together. Like, you know what I mean? Like like we experience life in a way that I think right now for us is the most appropriate and the most maintainable, and the love I have for you, literally the most healthy, but the love I have for you and the love that I know that you have for me makes me so secure in our choice to be us and to rock as us, whatever that looks like and whatever that means. So I never feel out of the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because there's no room to be out of the loop when the loop is two.
When the loop
like,
is two.
It's like,
in a very real way.
How are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's not an easy answer, Bonnie.
It's never an easy answer.
It's never that straightforward, I guess.
not with
But
us.
there's, feelings are information. And this, let's recall. I'm a professor by nature, really. Feelings are information, and this video gave us
a lot
of information.
Yeah, like watching it back the first time in Florida.
Yeah.
First off, we didn't know this was coming out. It like
the day it came out. We didn't know it was out.
Yeah, we didn't know it was out, and like my ex sent it to her ex, who sent it to my another mutual friend of ours, and then it circulated that friend group before it even got to us. So it was like somebody sent it to you, and you were like, the video's out. I was like, oh, word.
Oh, like the day we found out?
Yeah, and it had been out for like 3 or 4 days, and then like we watched it for the first time, and I was like,
yeah, it had already been out for a few days. We had no clue it was out, and we log on, and I think at the time it was like 50,000 views or something in the first couple days, and we were like, and so there were already comments to go through. We were already like experiencing the video for the first time with people's like reactions and commentary and all of that.
But I think we realized or were made aware that the video was out in such a negative way that there were already kind of like feelings about it. It's like, okay, like what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Because it's like seeing the screenshots, I'm like, what did we say that like
that
is
led
making
you to believe?
Yeah,
or feel
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss something? I was like, are you sure it's the video that we recorded? Because it's like, and then like watching it back, I'm like, I think our close friends who like really know us were like, that's Adrian and Tatiana. Yeah. And then like that, the
our
people.
Closest friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like our
My
like.
mom, Emily.
Carla. Yeah. Who they were like, okay, like cute. Yeah, great video. Versus like people who are on the outside were like, I'm experiencing two people who are in love. It's like, that could be the factor, but that doesn't mean we're not friends.
The person that commented that knows us from college.
Oh.
And was like, I was in classes with them. They've been like this for years. Or like they've, I can't remember.
No, she was responding to somebody being like, he probably follows her around like a puppy.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, at first, I was offended by that. And then for somebody to comment, I was like, that's crazy.
Because she validated it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen you in years.
Literally, in my head, I was like, the last time we talked was pre-pandemic. When I was practically engaged, I was like, I was
someone
reading,
else.
I was reading the comment. And I was like,
Where did this come from? Like, where did this come from? But a lot of our reactions to a lot of what people said were that.
we're that. Like when the video came out, we like watched it on the TV, like whatever. We're like, what are the comments looking like? Got on my phone. I was like, I was so offended
So funny.
between the zesty comments and like just the assumption that it was my idea. I was just like,
Yeah,
yeah. I had beef with you that first day.
of course you did.
Yeah, I was like,
But you touched on that earlier. It was so easy to have beef with each other.
yeah,
Because that's what like negativity breeds.
yeah. We had to
It's beef.
we had to reel it in.
There was no beef.
Yeah.
There's no beef.
no beef.
There's no beef.
None whatsoever.
There's no steak. You know what I
Still
mean?
beef.
Exactly. What's another name for it? There's no
It's okay.
prime rib.
It's okay.
Chuck. You know?
It's okay.
Angus.
Oh my
That's
god.
right.
So are you guys both, are you single, out there mingling on the apps?
It's like I'm married. Surprise. No, just kidding. We are on apps.
Yeah.
We are on apps.
For what it's worth, I had somebody where it's like one of the apps where you can like link profiles. I had somebody I matched with and they were like, I'm surprised you didn't link with Tatiana. And I was like, too many people in LA have seen this video for my comfort at this point.
You
Like,
never told me that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Listen, if anyone in the world has to be your fake girlfriend,
I'm screaming.
babe, you know what I mean? It's me. Could you get a better fake girlfriend? Could you?
Should you get a better fake boyfriend?
So true, bestie.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So true, bestie. We are both dating.
Yeah.
I was about to say actively. It might not be as active.
It's not as active as we thought it was
as
going to be.
either one of us might
Yeah.
like. But that's a whole separate conversation. That's because apps are weird
Yeah.
sometimes and people are weird.
People are weird.
You see, this is the issue. How can I go out on a date with somebody that is like so underwhelming, so like doesn't jazz me, when I know like I'll go home and we'll like shoot the shit for hours and like
Yeah.
finish each other's sentences, and that's like, you know what I mean? It's hard.
Yeah, no, I had a conversation the that I went to for the boba, but we had a conversation about like this basically, and I was like, sometimes I was like very open. I was like, sometimes it's hard to get out and want to meet people because a lot of times I feel partnered. Like I feel like I'm out seeking your new metamour or whatever it's called. Like I'm like it gets a little blurry, but then I'm also like there's also just a lack of interest in like. In doing that, which has nothing to do with like us or the video or anything. It's just more of a me thing. It's just like I'm not in a space for it. Like, you know, whatever. But it just lets me know that I'm being like more true to my emotions and like my mental processing as I should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Agreed. There's one person that commented. This is actually very selfish because it's all about me. But there's one person that commented. There was the one that said that I look like that porn star. She's hot. Thank you. That made me laugh. But no, there's one person that commented a compliment I've never received in that way, and it has changed my life. So thank you so much if you're seeing this. The person said something to the effect of, the way Tatiana employs language is so colorful.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I just remembered that word in particular. And the comment was a little bit longer, but it oh my gosh, that like filled me with so much joy. Thank you for saying that. There was also another comment about us and the way that we communicate in similar regards, like the way they speak to each other is so mature for their age. You know, my husband and I don't even communicate like that, and we've been married for 30 years or something.
I think that's why a lot of the older people were like, oh, they need to get married now. And I was like, see, that's your problem. That's why you and your wife don't like each other. That's your problem. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, because just because things are good and
Just-
happy
yeah.
and healthy does not mean that that is the answer.
You don't, if they're good and happy and healthy, you don't have to take them out of that zone. Like, you don't have to expose them to other
You don't have
things.
to force it.
Yeah.
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 That was the only thing I could think of. What about you?
I feel like I had a lot of closing comments before this. I don't know. I think it's been a great conversation. I'm not going to make it petty.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
No. Because we were talking about the zesty comments earlier, and I was like,
Talk your
I'm
shit,
over
King.
it. I'm over it.
Are you gonna be over it 5 seconds after we walk out of the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love each other. The people that know us, and I hope that ultimately, especially if you're watching this follow-up video, I hope you see us for us.
Yeah.
And not what you thought it was, not what the comments said it was, but like really, really think about the people that you knew when you knew us.
Yeah.
Or really think about the people that you know now because you know us. And like, That's all. Like, that's all I just
Yeah,
want to just
don't-
leave it there.
Yeah,
Like,
don't think too much about it.
you know us.
Yeah.
We are not people that you don't know. We are not radically different people. LA didn't change us that much.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.